এটা দাঁড়াও, I have to share the screen. Uh, দেখছো এখনো অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সটা গেল না। ধুর। Okay, so that was the diagram of the last class yesterday. So have you checked it? If you have any query, you can ask, or whatever you are saying. I will repeat it again. The diagram portion. Will I repeat it again? Or is it okay for you?
Ma'am, okay.
Anyone have any doubt with this? So what we have found that increasing, first of all, increasing cost industry means there is decreasing returns to sell. Means if you want to produce more and more, your average cost is increasing. Okay. So in that case, your long run supply curve will upward rising. Okay. So let me go to the next one. This is the decreasing cost industry. Hmm. Now in this decreasing cost industry, the starting point is same as before. That D1 S1, the equilibrium point is A, and the D1 S1, this is the industry demand and supply curve, and A is the initial equilibrium.
Ma'am, your voice is not clear.
Yes, ma'am. You may use the laptop speaker.
Better now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I have seen one thing when I start the class with my microphone, that speaker one, then you are saying the voice is cracking, then I stop that and I'm using the laptop normal speaker and it is okay. And on the other hand, when I will start with the laptop speaker, then my voice is cracking and I'm using this additional speaker and then it will be okay. So the initial thing is always creating problem, whatever it is, laptop or the additional speaker. Anyway, so look at this. The D1 and S1, these are the demand and supply curve of the industry. And A is the initial long run equilibrium. This is our starting point. Okay. Now, given this equilibrium A, the equilibrium price for all the existing firm was P1, P bar, sorry, P bar. Now, given this P bar, there is particular LSC1 and LMC1. Okay, so these are the long run. This is a very stable and normal situation for the industry as well as for the farm. Now, due to sudden, whatever be the reason, the demand has increased in the industry. Okay, so the demand curve has shifted from D1 to D2. So now we are getting B as the new equilibrium point, D2 and S1. Okay, so the B is the new equilibrium point. Corresponding to B, there is a price, that is equilibrium price, P1. Now all the existing firms, they are facing P1 now. Okay, they are getting P1 now. Now given their average cost structure, given their cost structure, they are producing this much and the price was P bar. But now for the same quantity, they are getting P1. So you can understand it is the case of supernormal profit. So again, if that is supernormal profit, we cannot say the situation as the long run. So now the firms are in the short run. Okay. Why? Because it is the supernormal profit they are earning because of the increase in demand in the industry. Next, if there is supernormal profit, so over the time new firms are entering. Okay, so when the new firms are entering, then the supply curve S1, it starts shifting to the right and it is going towards S2. And if the supply curve is moving to the right, then the equilibrium B is also coming down like this. This is how it is coming down. So it is coming close to P bar. The equilibrium price, which is initially after the change in demand, which is P1, it is now coming down towards P bar because the supply curve has shifted. Okay. And at the same time, look, this is decreasing cost industry. So decreasing cost industry, you can understand, is just opposite to increasing cost industry. If you have IRS, increasing returns to scale, then you will have decreasing cost industry. So IRS means, all of you know, IRS means average cost is falling, right? If you can remember the shape of your LSE curve. So it is the falling portion. Now, as the average cost is falling over the time, that LSE curve will shift downward and the corresponding LMC as well. So what happened? There are two forces which are working on the supply side. The first one is number of farms in the industry is rising. Fine. I already said it. The number of farms in the industry is rising in the long run because existing farms are earning supernormal profit. So as number of farms is rising, so the supply curve is shifting to the right. And at the same time, as the average cost curve has shifted downward, so the cost of production is also falling. And if the cost of production is falling, we know the supply curve will shift to the right. So both effects, the first is the increase in number of farm, and the second is for shift of the LSE curve, shift of the cost curves. So both effects are creating, forcing rather, not creating, it is forcing the supply curve to shift to the right. So both are working to the same direction. Both are saying supply curve to shift to the right. That is why the supply curve has shifted. Look, S1 to S2. Look at the extent of this shift. Look at the gap between S1 and S2. It is very high as compared to the gap between D1 and D2. In case of increasing cost industry, there are also two effects, but they are working to the opposite direction. And that is why the shifting of the supply curve was not so much. But here, as both forces are saying the supply curve to shift to the right, that is why supply curve has shifted significantly, okay, as compared to the shift of the demand curve. So now we are getting the new equilibrium at C. Why? Because C corresponds, look, C is the minimum corresponding to the LSE. So P2. So if we are achieving P2, then again there will be no supernormal profit and that entry exit problem that will stop. Okay, so we can get another long run equilibrium. Fine. So if initial equilibrium is A and the final equilibrium is C, if you join these two long run equilibrium points, you will get downward sloping long run supply curve. So for decreasing cost industry, the supply curve will be downward sloping. Okay, any doubt with this?
Ma'am?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the two forces part once more?
Yeah. First of all, look, the existing farms are earning supernormal profit. Can you tell me why? Why existing farms are earning supernormal profit? Anyone in the class? Why existing farms are earning supernormal profit? When the equilibrium is B, existing farms are earning supernormal profit. Why?
Ma'am, when
Ma'am,
B is the equilibrium, then P1 is the revenue and price, and the cost curve is lower than that. So the profit is there. So supernormal profits also.
Okay. So P1 is the MR is equal to AR. Okay. So this is the price. But the quantity is same as before, the average, because the average cost and the LMC, these are same. Okay. Initially, they are not moving. In the short run, long run cost is not moving. So it is in its original position. The producers are producing, the farms are producing this much, but they are getting higher revenue than before. So the existing farms are earning supernormal profit. Done. So as the existing farms are earning supernormal profit over the time, new farms are trying to enter here because they are encouraged to enter here. They are encouraged to produce within this industry. So when the number of farm is rising in the industry, then the supply curve will shift to the right, because supply curve is what? Supply curve is the horizontal summation of the individual supply curve. Na? So number of farm is rising. So initially there were 10 farms, now there are 15 farms. So the supply curve will automatically shift to the right. This is the first effect. And the second effect is, it is decreasing cost industry. So when you are going to produce more, then the cost will fall. And that is why the total set of this LSE, LMC and the corresponding short run curves, the total set is moving down. Okay. So now the set is LSE2, LMC2. So at the minimum, what is the minimum of LSE2? P2. Okay. The price corresponding to the minimum of LSE2 is P2. Okay. So as the average cost is falling, as the cost of production is falling because it is decreasing cost, so the price, if your cost of production is falling, then you should produce more. And this is the second factor which is shifting the S1 supply curve towards S2. Okay, so two effects are there. First of all, the increase in number of farms, and the second is the fall in the cost. Both are saying the supply curve to shift to the right. Okay, that is why the supply curve has shifted to S2, and there is a significant shift actually. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Acha, any query? Any other query? Very similar to the increasing cost, but the only difference is, in case of increasing cost, that set of the cost curve is shifted upward and the movement of the supply curve is not to that level. In case of decreasing cost, the cost curve has shifted downward and there is a significant shift of the supply curve. That is the only difference. And explanation is going to the same path. Okay. If you have a look, so we have derived the long run industry supply curve for constant cost, for increasing cost, for decreasing cost. So these are the three options we have done all. Okay, so this is the long run industry supply curve derivation. Sometimes the questions are coming, the derivation is coming actually. If you go through the question paper, the derivation is coming. If there is, say, there is decreasing cost industry, then derive the long run industry supply curve. Okay, this type of questions are there. Okay, in university question paper. So when you will give the answer, at first you have to explain that it is, as it is say, decreasing cost industry, that means there is IRS. So that relationship you have to explain first, then go for the diagram and the explanation of the diagram and all. Okay, and if the question is coming on this topic, it is a long question, because look, the diagram is not so simple. You have to calculate the distance and this and that, so many things. That is why generally, if this question will be there, it will be of long run long question. It's not a short type of question. Yeah, the questions are there now. So I think the syllabus part is over. Now the discussion, revision, these are there. So it will obviously need a lot of time, but the discussion portion is over. So any question from the, okay, let me show all the slides of perfect competition. This is the property. This is the profit maximizing condition. The explanation of the sufficient condition here with the diagram. This is just the relationship between AR and MR. Equilibrium in the short run. This is the equilibrium diagram of the short run. Yeah, this is the derivation. Sometimes this relationship, as I said, sometimes the derivation may come, or two of these three variables is there. So you have to derive the third one. That is also there for short question. This is the supply curve of the farm in the short run. This is the industry supply curve in the short run. Now the long run. This is the profit condition. Okay, here we introduce the concept with super and the normal profit and all. And then the equilibrium condition and the corresponding diagram. When you will draw the diagram, remember one thing, that LMC should go through the minimum. In my diagram, it's a mistake. It is not going through the minimum, but it should be. In your diagram, it must be. Okay, LMC should go through the minimum of the LSE curve, because this is the condition. Okay, this is the long run supply curve, constant cost, increasing cost, and finally decreasing cost. Okay, so I'm going to discuss the question here. Look at the question. This is the question from, as I said, I have some books. So from those books, the exercise portions I am showing to you. Define the average and the marginal product of the variable input. You know what is average product and marginal product. When marginal product begins to decline, what happens to the average product? Can you tell me? The second part. The first part is only definition. I'm not going to ask it. Look at the second part. When marginal product begins to decline, what happens to the average product? বলো তো কি হয়?
Ma'am, it also declines.
No. Begins to decline. Try to remember stage 1 of production. It just begin to decline. Average product is rising. ভুলে গেছো সব? দেখো তো কি অবস্থা? This is your average product, huh? And this is your marginal product, right? So when it begins to fall, when it's begin to decline, that means at this part, just at this part, begin. Okay, so here average product is rising. In the stage 2, when it is significantly fall, actually, then after both are falling. But initially, average product is rising, marginal product is falling. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I don't know. Maybe I was facing some glitch, but I just got to know that the attendance had already been taken.
Yes. What's your name?
Ma'am, Onvisha Ghosh, roll number 289.
So please tell me after the class.
Okay. ma'am.
When I'm going to end the class, then inform, because I have to reopen that sheet. Huh? So that is
Okay,
why
ma'am.
inform me then. Okay, so this part is done. Question 3. When marginal product begins to decline, then average product is still rising. Okay, what is the nature of the relationship between marginal and average product? So that mathematical relation, can you remember that? ভুলে গেছো সব না? কি অবস্থা? এখন আমি এগুলো দেখাবো? Can you remember? Anyone in this class, can you remember this? The relation, the mathematical relation between marginal and average product? We know APL is equal to Q by L. So Q is equal to APL into L. Differentiate it with respect to L. Then dQdL is equal to del APL del L into L plus APL. Can you remember this?
Yes, ma'am, remembered.
Okay, so that mathematics is needed here. What is the basis of this relationship? The basis is the inverted U shape of the foot. Actually, what is the basis? No, this is not the basis. The basis is law of diminishing marginal physical return. Okay, the basis of this relationship is the law of diminishing marginal physical return. Then you explain the law, and that's all. State the law of diminishing marginal return. The next question is this. What are the conditions for this law to apply? Does this law apply to all kinds of industries? What are the conditions for this law to apply? Can you remember? Can you tell me what is the law of diminishing marginal returns? This is law of diminishing marginal physical return. Same thing. Law of diminishing marginal physical return or law of diminishing marginal returns. Thing is same. So what it is? ये बाबा
Ma'am,
ये
as
क्यों
the labor
बोलेगा?
values increase, MPL will decrease.
Yes. So this is law of diminishing marginal return. Now, what are the conditions for this law to apply? I mean, what are the assumptions behind this law?
Ma'am, capital must be held fixed.
Yes, so it is the short run. This is the basic condition. It is the short run. Good. And the last one, does this law apply to all kinds of industries? What do you think? Does this law apply to all kinds of industries?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is. It is true because it is the law. And even if in the long run, we can apply the same law for the capital as well, right? Now look, question 6. Discuss the law of variable proportions using an appropriate production function. What is this law so called? What is this law so called? Explain with example. Can you tell me what is law of variable proportion? Anyone?
Ma'am, ma'am, when there is a fixed amount of fixed factor, and we keep on increasing the units of variable factor, then the
Marginal product is falling. So this is the law of diminishing marginal return, right? This is another name, law of variable proportion. Acha, look at question number 7. What are the 3 stages of returns in the law of diminishing return? Law of diminishing return. Law of diminishing return. 3 stages. That means there's 3 stages of production. Why does producers increase? Why does productions increase at increasing rate in the initial stage of law of diminishing marginal return? Can you tell me? Why does productions increase at increasing rate in the initial stage of the law of diminishing marginal return?
Ma'am, initially there is fixed amount of capital. So when labor is increased, then the capital is used more efficiently, and therefore the
Exactly.
output increases at an increasing rate.
Exactly. But then after the more labors are there, so they may create some problem and all these congestions thing. So that is why it is falling down. Okay.
Ma'am, is this the answer same that why we shift from stage 1 to step 2 still?
No. It's not same. It is asking that in the initial stage, why your production is rising at the increasing rate. Look, in the initial stage, as he was saying, that capital is fixed now, and you are going to employ. Just you are going to employ, say 1 to 2, 2 to 3. This is the level of employment. So as sufficient infrastructure is there and the new labors are coming inside the factory, so they can work very efficiently. That is why initially the production is increasing at the increasing rate. But after a certain time, as the capital is fixed and you continue increasing the labor employment, after a certain time, it may happen that there is a congestion, labor problems are there, and so many things are coming up. Okay, so that is why the production is falling after a certain level of employment. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, illustrate graphically, এটার কি বলবো? Suppose a production function is given this, find out total product margin. This type of questions may be there in your exam. Some mathematical equation is there, the production function, the specific production function will be there, and you have to find out total product, marginal product, average product, and you may draw it if it is said. Total product where MP is equal to AP, labor required to maximize the output. Okay, so that you will check. You will draw the diagram and then you can check it out. Acha. So the derivation, no, shadow. The law of diminishing returns is an empirical law, but this law does not apply to all kinds of industry in the same. Acha. Suppose the production schedule. Okay, fine. Yeah, whatever. Acha, look, এগুলো আবার MCQ type. When total output is maximum, which of the following holds? বলো দেখি. When total output is maximum, which of the following holds? APL is equal to MPL, APL greater than MPL, less than or none?
Ma'am, APL greater than MPL.
Right. APL greater. So B is the correct answer. Acha. Under which of the following condition MPL is equal to 0? Tell me.
Ma'am, MPL less than APL. Yes. MPL less than APL. Next one, marginal productivity of labor decreases due to which of the following factors? Acha, it may be more than one. Due to which of the following factors? Indivisibility of capital, labor is imperfect substitute of capital, or there is a change in production technology. No, look, production technology, no. In the short run, it is not. So forget about C. 1 and 2, which one is correct? Indivisibility of capital, labor is imperfect substitute of capital. What is the reason behind the decrease in MPL? What do you think?
A.
Yeah, indivisibility of capital. You cannot divide the capital. Capital is?
Ma'am, why not B?
Labor is imperfect. No, obviously the statement is correct. Labor is imperfect substitute of capital, but that is not the reason behind the decrease in marginal productivity of labor, because you are not going to substitute capital by labor. Your capital is fixed. Okay, when you are going to substitute capital you are going to substitute capital by labor, then you have to reduce capital, na? But in case of marginal productivity of labor, that means in the short run, your capital is fixed. So this statement is not, this is correct statement, but it is not applicable as a reason behind the decrease in MPL. On the other hand, indivisibility of capital, this is there, because that is the reason behind the fall in MPL. Say there is there are 10 machines, and say to operate those 10 machines, you need 50 laborer. So up to 50 laborers, 50th labor, you are getting higher and higher output. But when you are going to employ more than 50, say 55, 60, then what they will do? That additional 5 or additional 10 workers, they have to share with the other laborers the same capital. You cannot divide the equipment so that they also get some of the equipment, right? This is not possible. Equipment is fixed. You cannot break them. So that is why now they are creating that additional workers, they are creating the problem. That is why the marginal productivity is falling. So indivisibility of capital, this is the actual reason behind the fall in MPL. If you can divide capital, then no issue. Additional workers will also get their equipment. But it is not possible in the short run. Okay? বুঝা গেল?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
আচ্ছা চলো, the next one এ যাই। বাবা, এটা আবার কিরম একটা হয়ে গেছে। Okay, what is an isoquant? All of you know. What are the properties of isoquant? Good. Illustrate your answer with appropriate diagrams. Very good. What is meant by marginal rate of technical substitution? Can you tell me what is, okay, it is written here. Assuming a convex isoquant, show that MRTS is equal to MPL by MPK. So it is, okay, it is written already. MRTS is MPL by MPK. Under what condition does MRTS decrease along an isoquant?
What is the rate of change in MRTS when two inputs are perfect substitute? Can you tell me?
Ma'am, for the perfect substitute case, ma'am, once it will be infinity and the second time it will be zero.
Yes, yes. If two are perfect substitute, then uh, the rate of change of MRTS that will be no. If they're perfect substitute, what you are saying, this is perfect complement. But if they're perfect substitute, then MRTS will be constant.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
rate
Yes, ma'am. I mistook it.
so rate yes. So rate of change of MRTS will be zero. MRTS is constant, so rate of change of MRTS that will be zero. Okay. What is meant by economic region of production plan? Can you remember economic region?
Stage 2 of production.
Nah, it is the long run
Ma'am, in
concept.
between, ma'am, in between the ridge lines.
In between two ridge lines. Okay, where your isoquants are convex. When isoquants are upward rising, that means either MPL or MPK is less than 0. In that case, you are getting non-economic region. Otherwise, it is economic. When MPL and MPK both are positive, your isoquants are convex, this is the economic region and it is divided by the ridge lines. Acha, illustrate graphically the determination of economic region, assuming that two inputs are imperfect substitute. Yes, it's normal diagram which I have shown you. This is the thing you have to draw here. Under what conditions are the isoquants convex to origin? Yes. Under what conditions? Under what conditions isoquants are convex to origin? When two inputs are imperfect substitute, but the marginal productivities are positive, then they are convex. Normal shape. Suppose two isoquants intersect. How does this violate law of proportion? Can you tell me? Suppose two isoquants intersect. How does this violate the law of production? Laws of production. Okay, fine. Where is the answer? I'm waiting.
Ma'am,
Suppose yes,
yes, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
yes.
Ma'am, suppose two isocons intersect. One of them lies on a higher scale, other is on the lower scale, and both of them intersect. That means that for that point, they are indifferent. But that also means that the higher points and the lower points, um, as they represent points of indifference, they cannot intersect. As they mean that two other ma'am, I might be confused, ma'am. I have to draw the isocont in order
Okay,
to.
draw it. Obviously, you have to draw. Draw it. And if you want, you can show it. You can share your screen if you want. Have you done, anyone? Suppose two isoquants intersect, how does this violate laws of production? Draw it and then try. Whatever is said, you have to do it, then think. The diagram is very important. This is one isoquant, this is another isoquant. Okay, here we are measuring labor and here we are measuring capital. Done. Now think, if they are intersecting, that means two outputs are there. What about the intersection point? If you just look at the intersection point, the problem is solved. A certain amount of labor and a certain amount of capital is producing two outputs simultaneously. Say this isoquant is corresponding to 10 units of output and this isoquant is giving us 20. Is it possible that same labor capital ratio for the given technology, same labor capital proportion is giving us two different outputs? It is not possible. No? So this is the violation. Okay. Anything else you want to do for this? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay, fine. I was thinking why no sound is coming.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can you repeat the first part of the question? Under what conditions are the isoquants convex?
Under what conditions are the isoquants convex to origin? If marginal products are positive, this is the first condition. Marginal product of labor and marginal product of capital, they should be positive. Okay. Technology is given and it's a constant, আর কি এই তো আর তো কিছু নেই. These two are the conditions.
And ma'am, one more doubt. Ma'am, in question number 4, that MRTS question, ma'am, when they are perfect substitutes, ma'am, why MRTS is constant?
Perfect substitute means that MPL by MPK, that should be, if MPL is what? MPL is the, if you employ one additional labor, what is MPL? আচ্ছা এক মিনিট দাঁড়াও তো, খুব সাউন্ড আসছে. এক মিনিট. Yes. Now look, what is MPL? MPL means if you employ additional labor, say additional labor, then what is the additional output you will get, right? Similarly, MPK means if you employ one additional capital, how much additional output you will get. And here labor and capital are assumed as perfect substitute. Okay, so that is why if MPL is, say MPL is 2, that means if I employ one additional labor, I will get 2 additional unit of output. And as labor and capital are perfect substitute, if I employ 1 unit of capital also, then that same 2 units of output will come. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
So that is why MPL, it should be 1 actually, not constant only, it's 1. So MPL and MPK, the values are same if they are perfect substitute. Okay, so that is why MRTS is constant. 1 means constant.
But ma'am, when since they're substitutes, so when one more labor is increased, should capital be decreased?
By the same amount.
So, ma'am, MPL will increase and MPK will it
It is
decrease?
there. Yeah, that law of marginal production, this is there. If you employ one additional, say what is MRTS? MRTS is minus of DKDL, है ना? MRTS is minus of
Yes,
DKDL. Now, if I employ one additional unit of labor, then I have to reduce the capital. That is there. But the proportion in which I am going to reduce that capital is constant because they are perfect substitute. Okay. Generally, it is changing because labor is, after a certain time, labor is not so efficient and all this. So these things are there, but here as they are perfect substitute, so just try to remember the case of two commodities when they are perfect substitute. So here also, if you want to change labor by one additional unit, the sacrifice of capital that will be same for your total production process because they are perfect substitute.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Understood. Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, here the isocon will be a straight line, a downward
Yes,
slope.
yes. Just like our indifference. And what your friend was saying, this is about the perfectly complementary goods. That is L-shaped. She was talking about L-shaped. One is zero and one other is infinite. But this is not. In case of perfect substitute, your indifference curve will be like this, straight line. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Acha. Look at question number 8, graphical. Explain the following and illustrate graphically. Economic region, already said. Constant elasticity of substitution. Graphically, how? Constant elasticity of substitution. You know what is elasticity of substitution, right? The proportionate change in output due to same proportionate change in factors of production, right? Can you remember? dq by q divided by d MRTS. So here the explanation is all. Illustration, I don't know how to illustrate constant elasticity of substitution. Graphical presentation, I don't know, but about the definition, it's there. L-shaped isoquant, yes, the common two factors are perfect complement, then it is L-shaped. Perfect substitutability, here the isoquant will be downward sloping straight line. Perfect complementary. Again, the same thing. Look, perfect complementary means the L-shaped isoquant. It is written twice. In case of a convex isoquant, how does MRTS behave? Look at question number 9 and tell me the answer. It's a MCQ question. Question number 9. In case of a convex isoquant, how does MRTS behave? It decreases at decreasing rate. It decreases at increasing rate. It neither increase nor decrease. It increase along the isoquant. Convex isoquant. কি হবে বলো?
Ma'am, it increases along the isoquant.
No,
Ma'am,
no. It
ma'am, because it is negative of the slope.
it is negative of the slope, but
Ma'am, it decreases at an increasing rate.
because the isoquant is convex. Okay, the isoquant is convex. Look, the isoquant is convex like this. So what about the slope? The slope is definitely downward sloping. The slope is falling. The slope is falling, but at the decreasing rate. It is decreasing at the decreasing rate. MRTS is decreasing at the decreasing rate. So that should be the correct answer.
Ma'am, one doubt over here. Ma'am, if we are considering that we are moving from the top to the bottom, like from y-axis to the x-axis, then ma'am it should be decreasing at a decreasing rate. But conversely, if we are seeing that we are moving from the x-axis to the y-axis, like upward, then it is decreasing at an increasing rate.
No, then it is increasing. Why it should decrease? If you are moving, look, if you are moving from here to here, it is decreasing at decreasing rate. If you are moving from here to here, it is increasing. But look, that increasing option is not here. It is increasing at the decreasing rate, whatever be the rate, but it should increase.
Yes,
If
ma'am,
from here
increase.
to here it is decrease, then the opposite will be increase. But
Yes,
no
ma'am,
increasing option is there. Look.
ma'am, option B, it increases along the isoquant.
No, it is not increases along. What does it mean? It increases along the isoquant. First of all, MRTS is not increasing. Along the isoquant means what? Isoquant is the MRTS means the absolute value of the slope. And isoquant is increasing. What does it mean? It increases along the isoquant. That means isoquant is increasing, so MRTS is also increasing. But explain, what do you mean by increase in isoquant? No meaning is there. Look at question number 10. MRTS is 1. Which of the following conditions hold?
C.
Yes, very simple. MRTS 1 means MPL by MPK is 1. So C. The elasticity of technical substitution means elasticity of substitution is measured by which of the following formula?
C.
Del KL KL MRTS. So C. Yes. Suppose the Suppose a chartered bus company needs one driver, one conductor, and one mechanic. Acha. That is 3 laborers. And a 5-seat bus to ferry 50 passengers between Delhi and Mathura per unit of time. Per unit of time. Okay, fine. What kind of isoquants will the transport company have? Bolo. এটা কিন্তু ভালো কোয়েশ্চেন না, বেশ অন্যরকম। What kind of isoquants will the transport company have? Suppose the number of workers increase by 33%. What will be the increase in number of passengers transported? Look at question number 12. Read it very carefully, then give the answer.
Ma'am, can you please stretch the picture properly because we can't see it properly?
আমিও ভালোভাবে দেখতে পাচ্ছি না আসলে, কোনো মতে দেখছি, দাঁড়াও। ছবি তোলা ভুলভাল হয়েছে, think it will be better. দেখো তো, better?
Yes, ma'am, better.
Read question 12 carefully.
Ma'am, for the past two, I think there will be no increase in the number of passengers because the seating capacity is fixed at 50.
No. This is not related with the first. Look at the first question. What kind of isoquants? Isoquanta কিরকম দেখতে? chartered bus company needs one driver, one conductor, one mechanic, and a 50-seat bus to ferry 50 passengers between Delhi to Mathura per unit of time. What kind of isoquant will that transport company have? Can you tell me what are the commodities? Because to have the isoquant we need actually three, na? We need isoquant two inputs. So here two inputs are, one is labor and another is a bus. These are the two inputs for the transport, right? So a bus, that is a constant, and
Ma'am, L-shaped. 3:1.
their perfect complement. That 3:1 is always should be there. If you are going to employ 3 laborers, then simultaneously you need another bus, right? Because otherwise, what will be the, say you have employed two additional laborers, and what is the use of those two? Nothing. You need 3 laborers and a bus. Then you can transport additional 50 passengers. So what kind of isoquants? It is L-shaped. Very good. It's L-shaped. Okay. Two commodities here, the labor and the bus, they are perfectly complement to each other. 3:1 ratio is always there. Now look at the second part. Suppose the number of workers increases by 33%. What will be the increase in the number of passengers transported? কি হবে?
Ma'am, there will be no increase because only labor is increasing. Capital
Because
is fixed.
yes, you have to increase the number of bus as well. Yes, that question, I think that answer was given already by someone.
Yes,
So
ma'am, I
yes.
told that.
Mm-hmm. So it is there because only increase in laborers will not work. You need increase in number of buses as well. Okay. So the marginal productivity of these 33% additional workers is actually 0. It is of no use until you have purchased additional bus. Yes. Define and explain the concept of elasticity of technical substitution. Show graphically that elasticity of technical substitution is different on any 2 points of the isoquant. Why does elasticity of technical substitution change along the isoquant? Bolo dekhi, question 13. কি হবে?
And it changes because of the convex nature of the isoquant. MPL, MPK changes.
Acha, can you give the answer of question 14 first part? Sometimes these questions are coming. How are laws of returns to scale? How are laws of returns to scale different from laws of variable proportion?
Ma'am, laws of returns to scale is a long run concept, variable proportion is short run. In laws of returns to scale, we are changing both the inputs, but in laws of variable proportion, we are changing only the labor. Capital is held fixed. In that way, ma'am, we can explain.
Yes, yes. what is a linear homogeneous production function? What kind of returns to scale is indicated by a linear homogeneous production function? Prove your answer by using a production function. Simple. So let me go to the next one. Hello, start moving. Yeah. Now look. Yeah. Suppose a production function is given as when input k and l increased by the factor k, production function reads as follows. What kind of returns to scale does the production function reveals if h is equal to k? H is very simple. H is greater than k and h is less than k. Tell me.
Ma'am, H is equals to K CRS, H greater than K IRS and H less than K DRS.
Acha. Production function is given. Do these production function exhibit increasing, constant and decreasing? Tell me. There are two production functions. For first one, IRS, CRS or DRS.
Ma'am, IRS.
No, for both it will be same. Lambda, lambda, lambda square. Yeah, for first one it is IRS, right? And for the second one, both will not be the same. Second one?
Ma'am, CRS.
CRS.
Exactly. So again, this type of questions may be there. Short question. Suppose a production function is given as Q when inputs describe the production function. It says this. What condition must be fulfilled for the production functions to show the same type of questions to show the constant returns to scale. If h is equal to 2, na? If h is equal to 2, then it will be constant returns to scale, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Acha. Using Cobb-Douglas production function, show the conditions for IRS, CRS, DRS. So what you have to do, just take the general Cobb-Douglas production function. Q is equal to L to the power alpha, K to the power beta. Then change
Yes,
L K by lambda. Then you will get the, I think I have given this type of thing in your class. So alpha plus beta and
equals to
lambda.
1, then CRS greater than 1 IRS.
You have to write those. Acha. Suppose the Cobb-Douglas production function is this alpha beta wala. Inputs K and L are increased by the factor K. Show the conditions under which Cobb-Douglas production function shows the same thing. Same thing. Very much similar. Acha. Suppose given the Cobb-Douglas production function, yeah, question number 21. Suppose production functions for Maruti Udyog Limited has been estimated as QM 100 K to the power, okay, it is 0.25 and L to the power 0.75. Okay, and for Tata Automobile, it is QL 100 K to the power 0.25, L to the power 0.8. Okay. For Maruti, it is K to the power 0.25, L to the power 0.75. And for Tata, it's K to the power 0.25, L to the power 0.8. Suppose also that both companies are using capital and labor in the same proportion. Which of the companies is operating under law of returns to scale? which of the companies has greater marginal productivity of labor? Bolo to. This is not very prominent, so I'm repeating again. Qm is equal to 100 into k to the power 25 L to the power 0.75. K to the power 0.25 L to the power 0.75. And for Tata, QL 50 k to the power 0.25 L to the power 0.80. Question is, which of the companies is operating under law of returns to scale? কোথায় গেলে? Which of the companies is operating under law of returns to scale? Which of the companies has a greater marginal productivity of labor? This is very easy. Just find out MPL for both the cases. Which one is more? This is the answer. But what about the first one? Which of the companies is operating under law of returns to scale? Do you know what is law of returns to scale? You know returns to scale, but what is law of returns to scale? কেউ জানো? Look, both these two production functions, they have law of returns to scale, because maybe CRS, maybe IRS, maybe DRS, whatever it is, but returns to scale is there. So both of these companies have it. And what about question B? And look, for the first, for Maruti, it is 1. Then Maruti, it is CRS. For Maruti, it is CRS. Because
Yes, ma'am. And Tata Automobile IRS.
Exactly. So this type of returns to scale they have. Anyway, they have law of returns to scale. And what about question B?
Ma'am, the Maruti Udyog.
Maruti Udyog.
Ma'am, I have a doubt that Maruti Udyog have a MPL 75 into K by L to the power 1 by 4 into 0.25, but which is for Tata Automobile, this is 40 into K to the power 0.25 divided by L to the power 0.20. Then
Can 40 কোথা থেকে এলো? 40?
ma'am, 50 into 0.8 L to the power 0.80, is it written?
Oh, from there 40. Okay. 40, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Then how can we compare this?
No, for K to the power 0.25 is same for both, na?
Yes, ma'am.
But for tell me again, okay, the powers of L, these are also changing.
Yes, ma'am. So the denominator is not same.
Ma'am, here it is said that both companies are using labor and capital in the same proportion. So K by L or L by K are same for both.
But the power changes.
The power, L to the power, that part is changing also.
Yes, ma'am, in the denominator.
So that is the thing. That is the problem. What to do? Take the log value and find out the value from the log table. I don't know. Exactly. I can't understand. If I was thinking about, okay, that constant part is there, K is also same. So whatever be the change of L, that will be. But it is not like that. L is also. Any idea how to solve the problem in the class? Anyone? the power of L is different for both the cases.
Ma'am, ma'am, K by L is constant, so mean making it something of that form and the remaining part.
Then remaining part you can compare. Yes, that you can do. But is it possible? Because I have not done it. You are doing.
Ma'am, the
Ma'am, how
remaining.
can be possible? Ma'am, k to the power 0.25 divided by L to the power 0.20. Then if we consider k by L to be positive, then some additional portion of such like k to the power 0.05 is left behind. Then with this, how can we compare?
Shobhik, have you done this?
K
I
to the
think
power
it's Shobhik, yeah? Yes. Uh-huh.
K to the power 0.25 divided by L to the power.
Show it, show it. Show your screen.
Ma'am, ma'am
তুমি
बोल
আবার দেখাতে পারছো না, তাই তো?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম
কি মুশকিল? এটা তো আমি করিনি। I have not done it.
ম্যাম
So,
মুখে বলার চেষ্টা
মুখে
করছি
আচ্ছা বলো বলো মুখে বলো।
ম্যাম তো নিচে আছে L টু দি পাওয়ার 0.2 তো মানে মাল্টিপ্লাইড মানে 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 এলটাকে 0.25 করলাম উপরে কিছু
Okay, the remaining portion is out of this bracket, তাই তো?
ইয়েস ম্যাম তারপর মানে কিভাবে করা যেতে পারে
ম্যাম আমি করেছি ম্যাম বলবো
হ্যাঁ নিশ্চয়ই।
ম্যাম মানে 40 দিয়ে কে বাই এল টু দি পাওয়ার 0.25 ইন্টু এল টু দি পাওয়ার 0.5 করলেই ম্যাম এসে যাচ্ছে এটা
Can you show it to us?
ম্যাম রাফে করেছি
হ্যাঁ তাই হোক না, রাফেই তো হবে আবার কি। If possible, please show so that all of us can see.
ওকে ম্যাম ম্যাম প্লিজ গিভ মি সাম টাইম ম্যাম প্লিজ 1 মিনিট ম্যাম হ্যাঁ ইয়েস
Okay.
ম্যাম
Now look at question 22 by that time, huh? Cobb-Douglas production function in its general form show that MPK is this, MPL is this. Just take the Cobb-Douglas and find out MPK and MPL. It will be there. Okay. Again, that problem. Just a minute. Okay, if it is finished, then I will show you something which is actually, this is the discussion part. I want to discuss it. Huh? The effect of intervention. So that was the question. Let us show the solution and then we will start this portion. Huh? Because this is not discussed yet. I have to discuss it. Then ultimately the syllabus will be finished.
ম্যাম ক্যান আই স্টার্ট
So I think Shutopa was saying, na? Shutopa was
ইয়েস ম্যাম
going to share the screen. Is it Shutopa or anyone else? I couldn't
নো
see the
ম্যাম
name.
আই এম সুতপা হ্যালো ম্যাম
Who is
আই এম
trying to
অডিবল
share the screen? Can you tell me the name?
ইয়েস ম্যাম আই এম অডিবল
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
হ্যালো ম্যাম
Hello? আবার কি হলো? Not audible, na? No one can hear me. দাঁড়াও।
No,
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am,
you're
you're
audible.
audible.
Is it better? Audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. Okay, fine. তো কে যেন স্ক্রিন দেখাচ্ছিলে? Who is going to share the screen?
ম্যাম আই এম অডিবল
Shutaba, okay. So show it, then I will go explain. Okay, we are waiting, huh?
Ma'am, is it visible?
It is coming. Everything is black, Shutaba. Cha, Shutaba left.
Sorry, ma'am. Due to network issues, ma'am. Sorry,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay, fine. No, not too sorry, but show it.
Yes, yes, sorry. Ma'am, is it okay? Visible?
Ha, visible. So 40 L. Acha. This is how you have minus 0.20. Okay. Yeah. So is it visible to all? Is it clear? Any doubt?
Ma'am, I was saying, wouldn't it be much easier if we just put K and L both to be equal to 1, as the both companies are using same capital and labor?
No, you cannot do that. That will be very specific. If you put them as a one, then it's very specific. What about the general? Okay. So you have to keep them K and L.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, I think that's okay.
ম্যাম
Yes.
ম্যাম এটাতেও একটা প্রবলেম থাকবে কারণ 40 ইন্টু এল টু দি পাওয়ার 0.05 কে 100 এর সঙ্গে কম্পেয়ার করাটা মানে একটু মুশকিল হবে।
মানে K by L টা তখন আলাদা হয়ে গেল নাকি?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম, মানে কে বাই এলটা ফিক্সড বলা আছে কোয়েশ্চেনে, তো তো সেটা ইকুয়াল হয়ে যাচ্ছে, কে 0.25টাও ইকুয়াল আছে। তো একটাতে আছে 40 ইন্টু এল টু দি পাওয়ার 0.05 আর আরেকটাতে আছে 75 মনে হয়। তো
But
এই
the
দুটো
power is same. Power is same.
Ma'am, but additional L to the power 0.05 is different.
ইয়েস ম্যাম।
Oh, okay. That constant term is different and the power is different still.
Ma'am, constant is matched because K by L to the power
K by L is
0.25.
matched, but what about the digit? That 140, these things are there, na?
Yes, that thing 75 and another is 40, but by through that we can differentiate, but there is also another term L to the power 0.05 most probably. That creates problems.
ইয়েস ম্যাম।
So no, it's not possible in that case. Not possible. Okay, I will check it, huh? I have not done any time this thing, but I will definitely try it, and if possible, if I can do it, then I will share it with you. Huh? Acha, chalo. Let me discuss this part. So we discussed about the intervention, right? We discussed about the intervention in our same one, right? How government intervene through the price control, price ceiling, price flooring, tax, these things we know. But here we are going to see in the perfectly competitive market, or rather in the perfectly competitive industry, if such intervention is there, then how it is affecting the welfare of the economy as a whole. Okay, that is our task here. So this is the minimum price. We know what is minimum price. Minimum price means what? Minimum price means you cannot pay the price less than that. Okay. And this is actually the example of price flooring. This is the example of price. Can you remember that price ceiling, price flooring? Mone ache?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very faint sound is coming. Anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
So minimum price is actually the example of price flooring. So say this is the minimum price, P min. Now look, before that intervention, the equilibrium is here and the price is P naught. Okay. Okay. So the price is P naught and the equilibrium, but by force, government is increasing the price to P min. That means you cannot pay any price less than P min. P naught is not accepted by the government. Now, what happened with the, do you know the concept about the consumer surplus and producer surplus? The willingness to pay. Do you know those things? Any idea? About the consumer surplus, about the producer surplus? Have we done this in the same one?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, okay. If you cannot remember, this is your problem, but it is done. So look, what is consumer surplus? Consumer surplus is the area below the demand curve. The area below the demand curve and above the price. So if the price is P naught, then the consumer surplus is this total area. Look at the pointer. This is the total area. That was the consumer surplus. Similarly, if price is P naught, then what is the producer surplus? Area above the supply curve, below the price. So this triangle, P naught, this equilibrium. Yes?
Ma'am, I think it is not done in the same one syllabus.
Yes, ma'am, it wasn't done.
Acha. So before that, I have to explain those parts. What is consumer surplus and what is producer surplus? Look at this. Look at this diagram. Very simple, very easy to understand. This is the demand curve, right? This is the straight line demand curve. Now, what the demand curve is showing? Demand curve is showing consumer, if the consumer is purchasing this much, then consumer can pay this money, right? Similarly, if the consumer wants to purchase this much, then he can pay this money. So that is what. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So demand curve is coming from the consumer. It is not imposed. It is not assumed by the supplier. Nothing. It is from the consumer side. Okay. The demand curve is created from the consumer side. So that is why I am saying if the consumer will purchase this much, then consumer is interested to pay this price. If consumer is purchasing, just a minute. If consumer is increasing his purchase to this much, then he is interested to pay this price. Okay. So this is how demand curve is showing how much consumer can pay for a certain level of quantity demanded. Okay. How much consumer can pay for a certain level of quantity demanded. Okay. Is that okay? So this is why it is said willingness to pay. Okay, this is called willingness to pay. What will be the actual payment? This is different. But the price corresponding to the demand curve is showing consumers' willingness to pay. What is his willingness? How much he can pay? How much he is interested to pay? Okay. So this is called the willingness to pay. This is why another name of the demand curve is willingness to pay curve. Okay, or willingness curve. Similarly, now look at the another side, that is the supply side. Okay, look at the supply side. What this is, say this is the supply curve, simple, the upward rising supply curve. Now, if the producer, now forget about the consumer. Look at the producer. If the producer is selling this quantity, then the minimum price he is expecting from this quantity is this. Because again, the supply curve is coming from the producer's idea, okay? Similarly, whatever be the reason behind this price, because of the cost, because of the tax, whatever be the reason, but if the producer will sell this much, then the minimum price he is expecting from this quantity is this. If he will sell more like this, then for this much of quantity, he is expecting this price. Do you agree with it?
Yes, ma'am.
So the supply curve is showing the expected price of the seller for different quantity. Okay, what he will get in reality, this is different. But along the supply curve, depending on the different quantity sold, the expected price of the seller is changing. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is how you can get the idea about the area below the demand curve and the area around the supply curve. But look, these are the willingness to pay or willingness to sell, whatever be. But ultimately, this is, look at this equilibrium. Ultimate price to the consumer and to the producer is P naught. Okay, so that means look from the consumer's angle. For this quantity, say for this amount of quantity, okay, take any amount of quantity like this. Okay, this is below the equilibrium quantity. Equilibrium quantity is Q naught. It is below the equilibrium quantity. For this quantity, the consumer is interested to pay this much. Okay, but for this quantity at the equilibrium, consumer is paying P naught. Do you agree with that? Is it clear? Consumer is interested to pay this much, but consumer is paying P naught. That means consumer can pay more than P naught for this particular quantity. Consumer can pay more than P naught for this particular quantity. এটা বুঝতে পেরেছো? Consumer can pay this price, but the market is asking the consumer to pay P naught. Say you are the consumer, you have some expectation about the price of a certain commodity before going to the market. You are thinking that, okay, the price may be around 100. So you are ready to pay that 100. When you are going to the market, when you are bargaining with the seller, then you see the price is 70 rupees. Done? So you are paying 70 rupees. You are not the fool, na, that you will reveal your expectation that, look, in the morning I thought the price should be 100 rupees and you are asking 70 rupees. Oh, you are so good. So please take 100 rupees. No, you are not like that. Okay. You know that your expected price was 100 rupees. But when you are coming in the market, you are watching the price is 70 rupees. So you are paying 70 rupees. The 30 rupees is extra in your pocket. You can pay. You are ready to pay. But as market is not asking you to pay, you are not paying it. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am, understood. But ma'am, why the consumer will pay P naught for less than equilibrium quantity?
No. Look, up to Q naught. Up to Q naught, for each and every quantity, the price is P naught. Right? Say Q naught is 50. For 50 units, so at the equilibrium, you can purchase 50 units at the price 70 rupees. Okay, that means within that 50, you have 20 units, you have 10 units, all these things are there now within 50. For first 20 units, you are ready to pay 100 rupees. But as that 20 is inside this 50, so for the total 50, you are paying 50 per unit. You are paying 70 per unit. বোঝা গেল?
Yes,
Say
ma'am.
this-
Yes.
But for any quantity lesser than equilibrium quantity, consumer was interested to pay more than equilibrium price. For any quantity lesser than the equilibrium quantity like this, for any quantity lesser than equilibrium quantity, the consumer can pay more than equilibrium price. Okay? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
According to his willingness to pay, because he was interested to pay more. He was thinking the price is high. But for 50, like when you are going to purchase 50 units, the seller is not asking you that, okay, for the first unit pay 1000, second unit pay 900, for the third unit pay 800. No, the price is not determined in this way, right? For the 50 units, you have to pay 70. So the total amount you are paying 50 into 70, done. Okay, this is your total expenditure for that 50 units. But for those first 50 units, lesser than that 50, like 20 units or first 10 units, you are interested to pay more. You can pay more. You are ready to pay more. But market is not asking in this way. When we will study the monopoly, then you can understand sometimes producers are asking in this way. But here, producer is not asking you to pay in this way. Okay, here the producer is saying, okay, you are going to purchase 50 unit. So for the 50 unit, the price, for the 50th unit, the price is P naught. So for the total 50 units, the price is P naught. That's 70 rupees. So 70 into 50, pay the money and take your commodity. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt? Other sounds are not coming. As I have to introduce this concept now, I was thinking it is done, but it is not done. So I need, I think, 2 or 3 classes more to finish the syllabus. It is not finished yet. I was thinking it is finished, just I will discuss it and it will be over, but no, I have to introduce this concept. So it is not over yet. So is that okay? That how it is working? Okay, take 2 minutes. Think of it and then tell me. Take 2 minutes. Look at this picture. Think of it because something very new I am telling you. So think of it and then tell me.
Yes, ma'am, it's okay.
Yes, it is clear? Any doubt? Feel free and ask the question if you have any doubt. কেউ কিছু বলছোই না। আরে বুঝেছো কি বুঝোনি তো বলো at least whether it is clear or not. That you can
Yes,
say.
ma'am, clear.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. So this is called the willingness to pay. So if the price is P naught, then what is the extra money? What is the total extra money the consumer has in your pocket ultimately? Look, this total area, na? Look. This is the total area which the consumer has in its purse. If you ask him to pay, he can pay. But as you are not asking him to pay, he is not paying. Okay, so after purchasing Q not amount of quantity, this is the extra money consumer has in his pocket. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
This is called consumer. Very important. We will use this concept repeatedly. Consumer surplus. Consumer surplus. Okay. So how to get the amount of consumer surplus? It is the area below the demand curve and above the equilibrium price. Look, it is the area below the demand curve and above the equilibrium price. This is the consumer surplus. Okay. If it is okay, then I will. Is it okay? Then I will
Yes,
explain.
ma'am.
Look, now what about the producer? Producer, for say for quantity Q3, producer's expected price is here. For any quantity less than equilibrium quantity, the producer's expected price was lesser than P naught, right? Like this part. That is the expected price from the producer. But when the Q naught quantity is sold, for this quantity, he is getting P naught. When Q3 quantity is sold because it is below Q naught, then he is getting P naught for Q3 as well. Right? But the expected price for Q3 was not like that. It's lesser than P naught. So what happened with the producer? If he can sell Q naught at the price P naught, he is getting something extra. Okay, he is getting something extra over his expectation. The producer is getting some money extra over his expectation. So what is that money? This total area. The area above the supply curve below the price, right? This is called producer surplus. This is the last thing I'm telling today. In the next class, I will discuss more. Producer surplus. So poor handwriting. Producer okay. This is called producer surplus. How to get the area? The area above the supply curve below the equilibrium price. So this is the consumer and the producer surplus. Any doubt with these two surplus areas?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So I stop here for today. In the next class, I will continue from here. I need, I think, 2 or 3 classes more to finish it. No, no problem because we have enough time.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, the attendance.
Yes. Just a minute. Ekটু wait করো. দেখছি।